Well, Brett, we just wrote a report on NAFTA together. What would you say are the top 3 successes of NAFTA?
I think NAFTA has a huge success story connected to it. First off, it's allowed trade to be more than tripled since its advent 23 years ago when it came into force in 1994. You've seen a massive expansion in trade in goods and services between all 3 NAFTA members. You've also seen North America punch way above its weight as a result of the NAFTA agreement. It's allowed us to remain competitive with the rest of the world. Our exports have expanded just at the same time as we've increased the amount of trade in goods and services that flow between our countries.
I think that's a really important point. The extent to which NAFTA and participation of Mexico in NAFTA has really made North America a much more competitive place to do business than it otherwise would be the case. Who do you think has benefited the most out of NAFTA? You know, there's this conversation going on, the Americans in particular starting to talk about how NAFTA has benefited Mexico more than anybody else. What do you think about that?
I mean, the great thing about NAFTA is that it's produced benefits for all 3 countries and in different ways. But some studies have quantified the amount of extra income that has come from the generated trade that NAFTA has produced. And it implies that there have been substantial improvements in income that have come from NAFTA in all 3 countries.
I think your second point is really important, and we tend to underestimate the importance of Mexico as a market for both Canadian and U.S. exports. If you think of it over the next 10 or 20 or 30 year horizon, Mexican growth will be far more rapid than both the growth of Canada or the U.S. And I think to the extent that we can manage to keep a foothold in that market and preferential access to the Mexican market, it stands to put us a great advantage over other parts of the world. We wrote this report with an eye to the ongoing conversation about the future of NAFTA that results in large part from President Trump's approach to trade. Based on what we've already discussed, there are clearly benefits to all 3 member countries of NAFTA. What do you think are the prospects for renewing the agreement going forward?
Well, the great thing is that there are ways to renew the NAFTA agreement that truly do produce gains for all 3 member countries. To give it some context, NAFTA was never meant to be set in stone. When it was signed in 1994, it was anticipated that it would be updated at various points. And it has been amended, depending upon how you count, literally thousands of times since then. Since 1994, there are a range of things that have become part of the economic landscape of North America that didn't exist when NAFTA came into being. We have e-commerce and the internet in a way that didn't exist at that time. We've had a big boom in services trade, and we've had a lot more interest in nuancing and enhancing protection for intellectual property.
That's fantastic. I mean, I think to paraphrase you in some ways, this is a chance to make what is already a great agreement even greater.
That's right.
Well, thanks, Brett.
Thank you.